Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Buffalo Museum of Science. I'm Kathy Leacock, Interim President and CEO of the Buffalo Society of Natural Sciences, which operates both the Buffalo Museum of Science and Tiff Nature Preserve. In 181 days, 2 hours, and about 25 minutes, the Buffalo region will have a front row seat to a once-in-a-generation event. Around 3:15 on Monday, April 8th, 2024, the moon will travel between the Earth and the sun, blocking the sun and resulting in a total solar eclipse. Buffalo is one of a handful of lucky cities that fall on the path of totality. For a few brief moments, the skies will darken, the temperatures will drop, and if the clouds here are pleased, they will make way for us all to enjoy the breathtaking view of the sun's corona. This will no doubt be an historic and memorable moment for our region that we should all look forward to with great excitement and anticipation. And thanks to science, predicting when and where it will occur, we can plan ahead. Standing here today are representatives from a number of the partners and supporters who want everyone who will be in our region on April 8th to have an enjoyable and, most of all, safe eclipse experience. There are a number of important safety messages we are sharing today, as well as what to expect with as many as 1 million tourists traveling to our region for this epic astronomical display. To kick things off, I'd like to welcome our friend and supporter, Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz.
Thank you, Kathy. Good afternoon, everyone, and it's great to be here at the Buffalo Museum of Science as we talk about what's coming, and as Kathy noted, in just a few months, on April 8th, the total eclipse of the sun. We've been here before to talk about this, and the reason why we're here today is to also inform our citizens that Erie County, and with our partners, has acquired 300,000 of these eclipse glasses. You have to have the proper eyewear to be able to see an eclipse. And what we want people to know is we wanted to get them early out to the public. We don't want people in the last couple of days trying to figure out where they're going to be able to get glasses. So I want to thank our partners for allowing us the opportunity, our partners in the legislature, to invest $100,000 to buy 300,000 of these eclipse glasses, which will be available at every one of the library locations, as well as here at the Buffalo Museum of Science. There'll be no charge. These will be free. But we only have 300,000 of them, and we have a little less than 1 million people in Erie County. So we know these are going to be the hottest commodity because everyone is going to want to witness the eclipse as it happens, because as is noted, we are in the totality, and this is something that has not happened in our region in decades and won't happen in our region again for at least decades, maybe more than a century. And it's important that you have the proper eyewear. When you put these on, you see nothing. It's blank. But having gone and used these eclipse glasses before for prior eclipses, when you look up at the sun, you still can see the sun, but you can see it safely, and that's the most important thing. We don't want people to go out and try to witness the eclipse as it happens, or the partial eclipse, which is coming up very soon, without having proper eyewear. If you try to look at any eclipse, like any other time at the sun, you can damage your eyes during a partial eclipse, or as it moves through until totality for the full eclipse. So we are proud. These glasses have arrived. We got them on time, and it's important because there are other parts of the country that are going to be in the totality and that are going to be trying to acquire these from the few manufacturers that exist. So we have 300,000 of them. They will be available for distribution at our local libraries, as well as here at the Buffalo Museum of Science and a few other locations. But the most important thing we want people to think about now is be prepared. This is going to be an experience we will never forget. Hopefully we have a clear day and we can see the totality in its full glory as we've witnessed the corona of the sun and the rest of the sun blocked out by the moon. It's something I am looking forward to very much so, and I'm proud that Erie County was able to acquire these eclipse glasses for our community so that 300,000 of our residents will be able to watch it safely. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark, for your commitment to our resident safety and for your continued support of the Buffalo Society of Natural Sciences. So as Mark mentioned, when determining the most accessible way to distribute the glasses, we wanted to partner with an organization that has reach across our county. So naturally, the Buffalo and Erie County Public Library System was there to help. I now welcome Dorinda Darden, Assistant Deputy Director of the Buffalo and Erie County Public Library System, to share our distribution plans. Dorinda.
Thank you, Kathy. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Buffalo and Erie County Public Library, I would like to thank the county and the Buffalo Museum of Science, for partnering with the library system to have our 37 libraries, the bookmobile, and our library to go van be the main distribution sites for these free solar eclipse glasses. We are thrilled to be able to distribute these free glasses to the public for safe viewing of the partial eclipse on October 14, 2023, and the total solar eclipse on April 8, 2024. Beginning today, the public can visit their local library and pick up 2 free glasses per person. We also encourage you to ask about books and other materials on the eclipse in the world around us. And also, if you don't have a library card, we encourage you to check out your local library and get a library card free of charge. For library locations and hours, visit the library's website at www.buffalolib.org. Thanks again.
Thank you, Dorinda, and thank you to the Buffalo and Erie County Public Library for your partnership and enthusiasm. Now I would like to introduce our Chief Scientist for the Buffalo Society of Natural Sciences, Dr. Holly Schreiber.
Thank you, Kathy. As Kathy mentioned, I am the Chief Scientist for the Buffalo Society of Natural Sciences. My PhD is in geology, but I am no stranger to eclipses or astronomy-related programs. Here at the Buffalo Museum of Science, our focus over the next 6 months is to get Western New Yorkers excited and ready to safely view the eclipse in April of 2024. And we recently welcomed a new team member to help. Thanks to a generous grant from the Community Foundation for Greater Buffalo, the museum was able to hire a part-time eclipse coordinator. Jennifer Schechter has hit the ground running with coordinating distribution to the libraries for the residents of Erie County. In addition to overseeing eclipse programs held at the museum, she is also coordinating outreach to area schools, community groups, and other organizations. The reasons why we are focused on getting this programming out to the communities extends far beyond learning about eclipse viewing glasses. You might recall in August of 2017, Buffalonians were treated to a partial solar eclipse. The Science Museum held a viewing party that day, and the traffic caused major traffic jams that ultimately shut down the Best Street exit off the Kensington Expressway. That backup was nothing compared to what the cities along the path of totalities faced that day. Our fellow Buffalo Eclipse Consortium members will share more on this in a minute, but like good scientists, we want to take from what we learned in 2017 and apply it to 2024. We at the Science Museum are encouraging Western New Yorkers to stay at or close to home for the eclipse, or to choose a viewing location where they can comfortably stay before, during, and after the eclipse in the event of that traffic backup. We are here to help train you on how to safely view the eclipse from wherever you are on April 8th, whether that be your backyard, a local park, or maybe your office building. On each set of glasses purchased by Erie County, there is a QR code and a URL available to access information on the museum's website. There, you will find additional safety and educational information about eclipses and frequently asked questions. But you, the media, are equally important partners in keeping our residents safe by sharing this safety information with your viewers and your listeners. The Buffalo Museum of Science and our fellow members of the Buffalo Eclipse Consortium are here and ready to help get the word out. Please let us know how we can help. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Schreiber. As Holly mentioned, the museum is a member of the Buffalo Eclipse Consortium, a local volunteer group of astronomy professionals, enthusiasts, and educators focusing on making eclipse viewing safe for Western New Yorkers. Mark Percy leads the Buffalo Eclipse Consortium as well as the planetarium at the Williamsville School District. So I welcome him now to share some additional safety messages. Mark.
Thank you. So on behalf of the Williamsville Central School District and the Buffalo Eclipse Consortium, I'm not only glad to be here myself, I am very glad you're all here because we need to get ourselves ready for this. And of course, one of the most important things is our eclipse glasses. You may be wondering if you had a set from the last eclipse, if they're still okay to use. Well, no matter what pair you have, whether you just got handed it yesterday or you've had them in the closet for a while, what you're going to want to do anytime you plan to use them is hold them up to a very bright light source and make sure that they haven't been scratched or had any pinholes in them folded across the lenses so that they're still good to go. So testing your glasses for safety is pretty important. And you can really have some fun with these glasses. This pair here came with a nice brochure from down in Texas where they're actually having 2 eclipses this year and next year. You can get different versions. This is a big shader that's easier to use with kids. Can be part of a cutout page with additional information. Again, the folks down in Texas had some fun with this, so I'm picturing a chicken wing sort of incorporated, but maybe these would be chicken wings on the side. But the most important thing is that you need to act now. These are not going to be available a few days before the eclipse. So in Williamsville schools, we've ordered 25,000 pairs. Wanted to get them custom printed with the people that supported our effort. And we encourage anybody who's thinking about doing anything for this eclipse to order sooner than later. It's really important because they are going to be in very short supply. And then Holly, she alluded to another thing. So I'm actually a 2-time totality survivor. I've been through 2 total eclipses before, and it's a way bigger deal than almost everybody realizes. And the crowding and the burden on infrastructure, it's a tough thing because there's a lot of money to be made, but there's also a real mess that you can find yourself in the middle of if you're not ready. So the Buffalo Eclipse Consortium has been encouraging all school districts in the area to be closed for the day because we don't really want our kids stuck on buses in the middle of this thing. That's about the time of day this would be happening. Other non-essential businesses, if it doesn't need to be open, think about being closed for that day. It's not going to be a normal day. You might think you're going to go about your normal business, but if it's even partly clear, it is not going to be business as usual around here. But then on the other hand, there's money to be made. Restaurants and hotels and anybody who can welcome these visitors in and make them have a positive experience here in Western New York, go for it with everything you've got because we're not going to get another opportunity for this. So yeah, be warned about the traffic, be warned about the crowding, plan ahead, make sure you're safe and make the most of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I would now like to welcome, we've got lots of Mikes and Marks. I'm going to get them all mixed up. Okay, now I'd like to welcome Mike Humphrey, president of the Buffalo Astronomical Association, a research associate at the Buffalo Museum of Science, and fellow member of the Buffalo Eclipse Consortium. Mike. Marks and Mikes.
Marks and Mikes. Hello, everybody. I have an interesting message here, mainly because I'm not going to talk about glasses. I get to talk about where to look for the eclipse. One of the biggest questions we get to our site, which is info@buffaloastronomy.com and at our Eclipse Consortium site, is where can I see the eclipse in Buffalo? The path of the moon, as it goes across, creates a shadow that's 100 miles wide. Any place in Buffalo and most of the surrounding communities is a very good place to see the eclipse. What you want is a southwest exposure, and what I'm telling everybody, you want to probably start beginning of April, just go outside, just around 3:15, and look up in the sky and see where the sun is. What you're looking for is power lines, trees, buildings. If you have any of that stuff in the way, you want to make sure it's not in the way because the sun is going to be arcing and it's going to be moving. You want to make sure that you have clear vision, but even more importantly, the glasses are dark. They're really nice and dark. So you want to be in a safe area. Some people have talked about being in a parking lot, so you want to make sure that your safety is good in a parking lot. If you're on a hill, if you're any place and you're walking around, you're going to be wearing dark glasses. You're not going to be able to see. Now, it hasn't been mentioned, and I will mention it now. During totality, and only during totality, and you can't do this during a partial, you can't do this during the hybrids, you can't do this during an annular, but only during totality. For those 3 minutes of totality, you can take your glasses off, and you can see the corona. That's the only time you can do it. As a NASA Partner Eclipse Ambassador, we're going around telling everybody, and a NASA Partner Eclipse Ambassadors, there's 3 in this area, I'm one of them, and we have 2 other ones. We want to get out this message that it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see something that's going to be incredible. Buffalo's going to be sharing it with the world. And when I say the world, the responses I'm getting from all over, from Canadians and from all over the planet to come here to see the eclipse is phenomenal. So we do want to be ready for it. There's a lot of things we have to do. If you decide to stay home, it's very easy. Just look up in the sky. The sun's going to tell you where it's going to be at about 3:15, and that's what you want to see. And then you'll be ready. You'll be all set. If you have any questions, you can reach out to the Buffalo Consortium website. You can also reach out to our Buffalo Astronomy website and the libraries and other locations where we'll have additional information and training to help you enjoy the eclipse safely and have a nice time with it. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. I know he stole my notes, so I didn't know if it was Mike or Mark. No. It's fine. Before we get to our last speaker, I want to talk a little bit about the viewing parties in the area. If you have a guest room, I'm sure somebody from out of town's already reached out to you about securing it for this event. If not, stay tuned. It has been mentioned a couple of times today that there will be concerns regarding traffic the day of the eclipse. That doesn't mean that local community groups, businesses, and organizations shouldn't host viewing parties. This is an exciting day that should be celebrated and enjoyed, but if residents do want to attend a viewing party, we at the Science Museum are just encouraging you to choose a viewing location either close to home or one that you can stay at for an extended period of time, both before and during and after. So both the Buffalo Eclipse Consortium and our Regional Tourism Bureau, Visit Buffalo Niagara, have pages on their website where public viewing parties can be shared. We encourage groups, if they're planning something that is open to the public, to add it to that website at buffaloeclipse.org and visitbuffaloniagara.com so that local residents can find them and enjoy. So our last speaker today is Assemblymember John Rivera, who has generously committed $10,000 to support the museum's Eclipse outreach programming, as well as Eclipse viewing organized in partnership with the Buffalo Olmsted Parks Conservancy at Front Park, which is in the Assemblymember's district. John.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Kathy, and thank you to the team here that's doing all these amazing things. You know, recently I traveled to another city that is also in the path of totality. I won't name it. It rhymes with Brockchester. And they claim to have all their ducks in a row of what they're going to do. And I'm looking at the map that's in front of us, and we see that this path is going to go from Maine to Texas. So there's a lot of places in this country that's going to really celebrate this, but we know that in Buffalo we're going to do it right. So I encourage everyone that could see this or is researching around where to view this, come to Buffalo. Buffalo's going to do it right. We are planning all kinds of events and activities around it, gearing up to it. We know that this is going to be big for the region. Like was mentioned before, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. And if anybody's wondering why there's so much public interest or governmental interest in this and the investments that we've made, all you really have to do is look at the numbers. And then by comparison, in 2017, roughly 1.6 million people traveled to South Carolina to view the eclipse, leaving $269 million in impact for one day. And we're going to do it right, and we're going to even hit bigger numbers. Nebraska, Kentucky, all kinds of parts all over the country have really seen the benefit of doing this right, and we're going to celebrate not just our region, but we're going to celebrate this very, very unique day. So again, I want to thank everyone that's been involved in this. I'm excited. I know that the county executive's excited. This is something that he's been sort of thinking and talking about for quite some time now. He's always made amazing investments right here into the Science Museum, so I just want to applaud him for that. I'm going to turn it back over to Kathy, so thank you.
Thank you, John. And thank you to everyone who came out for today's press conference. Before we finish up and make ourselves available for interviews, I want to invite everyone to a timely special event happening this Saturday, October 14th, at the museum. As it just so happens, you know, science, that there is a partial solar eclipse this Saturday, which will occur between 12 and 2 p.m. So what better way to kick off our Eclipse programming here at the Buffalo Museum of Science? But we will be offering a free admission day on Saturday. All are invited to come and learn about eclipses, how to view them safely, hopefully weather permits, and we will be able to head outdoors to guide guests on how to safely view the solar eclipse. Our eclipse glasses, thank you very much to the county, will be available for distribution on that day. So come on Saturday, spend the day with us, and enjoy free admission. The entire museum will be open. We can't imagine a better way to kick off the countdown, 181 days, to the 2024 eclipse, and we welcome all to join us. For information on Saturday's event, upcoming eclipse programming, and safety or educational information about eclipses, scan the QR code on your glasses, or visit the museum's website also at sciencebuff.org/eclipse. Thank you for joining us today. Stick around if you'd like interviews with any of the representatives. If you haven't already, we do have packages of eclipse glasses for everyone to share with your colleagues at your stations and your offices. Make sure you keep them in a safe place until April 8th. And thank you so much for coming. Thanks, everyone. Yes. For the partial solar eclipse, you will also need your glasses. Yeah.
Can you explain what makes these glasses so protective? What are they made out of?
I was going to say, Mark's done his research.
And then also, can everybody except for the county executive and council member please spell your first and last name for us when we go up there?
Yes, Mark Percy, MARKPERCY, Planetarium Director for Williamsville Schools. One thing about the glasses to make sure that we also get out there messaging-wise is the ISO certification. You know, a long time ago, you just had to come up with something on your own. But an optometrist from Toronto is actually the author of the International Safety Organization standard. And basically, the material is a polymer film with carbon particles impregnated in it. But that material blocks it sounds like a made-up number, 99.9999% of the light. But when they've been lab tested to show that they actually block that much visible light, as well as the invisible ultraviolet and infrared light, then they're safe for direct viewing of the sun. So yeah, that special polymer and that lab testing is really, really important. Take your notes again.
I know that there's going to be viewing parties throughout, certain state parks, but this is a question more for the county executive. Are there plans in the works right now to make the county parks available, like Chestnut Ridge, Springbrook Parks, and the other parks around the county, that people will be able to come and watch this with another congregation?
Well, like any other day of the year, the parks will be open because they're open 365 days of the year. But the one thing we are telling people is if you are going to come to one of our parks, and we have some incredible locations that would be perfect for viewing it, you better get there early. There's going to be many, many people who will be thinking of the same idea, and traffic in some areas may be very difficult. If we get the individuals coming to our community as we expect, our roads will be much busier than they normally would be. That's why the recommendation is stay home and not have schools open that day. But in other communities where they've had the totality, traffic is stopped on the equivalent of the thruway, or the 190, and people just get out of their cars and try to look at the eclipse while it's happening. So our parks will be open, and there'll be plenty of viewing locations at our parks that are good. Other parks maybe not so, because if our forest is probably not the best place to go because it's all trees. Parts of Chestnut Ridge Park will probably be incredible, like the massive sled hill will probably be one of the best locations, but other parts of Chestnut Ridge, maybe not so much because you're going to be blocked. Your view will be blocked. So what we're recommending to people is to make a plan, make sure you have your glasses beforehand, because as was noted, if you're going to try to get these in the final few days, it's going to be pretty darn near impossible to do it, because we expect that the glasses that are being provided by the county and other organizations like the Williamson School District will be long gone in the hands of people by then. So you need to make a plan, have your glasses beforehand, and as was noted, be at a place where you can be for hours. Because while the totality isn't going to last that long, the actual, from the beginning of the eclipse, the partial eclipse to the end of the partial eclipse will take some time. And you need to be at a location where you can be safe, probably have bathroom accessibility, so you got to think that through. Our parks will be available, our parks will be open, but we expect them to be very busy, so if you want to enjoy it, you're probably going to need to get there early.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I know you're all here for your glasses.